We're in Thailand with Global Blockchain Show, and today I'm with Thibault from Hibachi.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hibachi is a fairly new product in the market, and I'm excited to hear about it. Tell me a little bit about it. Tell me what it is.
Yeah, it's super exciting. Like you said, really new. We're very much in the shadows by design right now, ramping up the product. But the TLDR for Hibachi is that we really believe that we've built the future of exchanges by really listening to how exchanges have been designed and built since the very beginning of our industry, and combining the best elements, the best tech that is available today to essentially create the most performant and user-centric, user-focused exchange possible. So Hibachi, alongside Hashflow's tech and Celestia's DA, RiskZero's ZK, it kind of assembles all the Avengers and allows us to create a really good trading experience that is essentially on par with a centralized exchange, while maintaining the core ethos of DeFi and transparency and trustless finance. So we really are pushing forward this message that a provable exchange is the future of the exchange architecture, and essentially, historically speaking, we're kind of, I think, getting to the point now where it's the end game in terms of what exchanges will look like for crypto, and we're really excited to slowly but surely expose the exchange to the world and tell you guys more about it.
Mm-hmm. How did the idea come together?
It was really kind of like a reflection of a lot of different things. I think, like a lot of people, FTX collapse was, I think, a big wake-up call. And for us as well, a lot of us are also coming from a background of DeFi, and especially particularly with Hashflow, and what that meant for the industry, offering market maker liquidity and essentially, making it available throughout DeFi. So I think the idea originally just came from a very strong belief that we could build a really good exchange. And also, again, with a really strong perspective that in order to have really good products, you actually don't need to put everything on chain. So what needs to be on chain, the important factors of it always should be, and everything that involves transactions and money should be provable. That being said, we don't believe that the user should have to compromise on performance, speed, and all those things that are table stakes in every other kind of financial market in order to trade. So it's a combination of all those things that came together, and over the last 6 to 8 months, we've just been building this order book, and we're about ready to show it to the world.
Did you spot this need of making a provable exchange through Hashflow? Like how did you guys go about finding this interest on the trader side for a more provable experience?
I think so. I think it was definitely the exposure to DeFi and exchanges in DeFi that kind of sparked this idea of there really being a need for it in DeFi, especially. And really, it's from having worked in like a spot environment, meaning you have the kind of growth of Uniswap and the AMM model that comes about, and it's a really, really good idea that makes anything tradable, and anybody able to create a liquidity pool for markets. However, it's extremely inefficient. There's just MEV, there's slippage, there's just a ton of inefficiencies in DeFi that kind of the user has to deal with in order to even trade from one asset to the other. So at a very fundamental level, we believe that there's definitely a lot of room to improve kind of the trading experience in decentralized markets and in DeFi markets. So that's what Hashflow was looking to accomplish and on the spot side, and by offering the RFQ model and essentially providing professional market maker liquidity, we could guarantee a price, meaning you were going to see a price for your swap and you were going to get that price. There was no concern of, oh, maybe I'm going to have to deal with 10% slippage, and then suddenly in my wallet it's going to be 10% less than what I thought I was going to get. So at a fundamental level, that was kind of the spot mission, and there was a very clear path towards solving a very similar problem for perpetuals and for kind of more sophisticated markets. So it's this constant kind of appetite to innovate and to make the trading experience a lot smoother, faster, more performant in our industry.
Mm-hmm. How do you see the current scene around exchanges? Like from a trader perspective, like a trader enters the industry, I mean, probably has already entered right now, but it's like maybe considering using one or more exchanges, probably already does that also. But like how does the trader move and make these decisions, just to understand like the current setup on the exchanges within crypto?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good question, because I think it visualizes really well kind of like your options right now as an end user. Yeah. And obviously there's many different types of users, and we have a very unique industry in the sense that there are a lot of different trader types. But if we just kind of lean into the baseline trader who is maybe dabbling in different markets and different exchanges, et cetera, I think even to this day, and I think 2016, I think, is when BitMEX really offered perpetuals for the first time. So it hasn't even been 10 years, right? But to this day, I think a trader still has to make a decision of either I kind of have to agree to compromise my funds and send it to a black box exchange that's essentially not transparent. You don't really know what they're going to do with that money. And sure, you're going to have a really good trading experience. I think one thing that centralized exchanges have done really well is they've worked on their performance a lot. And there's a lot of opportunity for a trader to really perform and do like more higher frequency trading, for example. The liquidity is really good. There's really tight spreads and it's low latency. So that's your kind of option one as a trader. And then option two is going to the hyper transparent route, meaning you're going on like a fully on-chain decentralized exchange. And there, what you'll see is full kind of control of your funds and really self-custody in a lot of ways, right? And that's really good. We think that should be at the core of everything. And really that's, in my opinion, like crypto was born from an appetite to never have to trust an institution again. So there, we've solved that problem. However, for the most part, you're nowhere near the trading experience that you were getting on decentralized exchanges. So it's always been this kind of either or. And with the prevalence of different scalability solutions, especially ZK, we're getting now to a point where you no longer have to make that compromise. You can have the Binance experience and the like drift transparency. So it's a really exciting time, I think, for exchanges, and I see more and more people kind of agree and adopt this mentality that a compromise for a trader, it doesn't have to happen anymore. You don't have to make that compromise anymore.
You guys say that you're built for the pro traders. What composes the pro trader? Like, how do you separate?
A pro trader, and we actually debate this internally a lot in terms of like what is a pro trader, right? Because I think again, being in such a new market and highly volatile market, you'll get a lot of different trader types and profiles that are not conventional. So for us, or at least for me, the way that I've thought about a pro trader is anybody that essentially builds their own tools and they API trade, meaning they don't really look at the UI a lot because, like you said, they're probably plugged into multiple venues and they're tapping into different venues for different objectives. So when they want to hedge something, they'll probably go on Binance because there's a very deep liquidity, and that's like the most easy way for somebody to take any kind of directional position on for example, a decentralized exchange, and then go and hedge on Binance. So the pro trader likes to operate between different venues. And what we mean by built by pro traders is we're essentially offering you a really good integration experience. Integrating with a new exchange is not as easy as it should be, really, because it takes a long time. It takes weeks and sometimes even longer to really get your systems integrated and to make it compatible with your existing kind of network of venues. So Hibachi is really kind of taking a good look and a very thorough approach towards how we build our APIs and our systems, and also adding kind of like a layer of ultra fast, ultra performant in the back end. So speed is really money for a trader. It really is, like, to the millisecond, right? Like you can really make or break a trade with the ability to exit or cancel an order, open an order. So there's just a lot of, like, very little room for error when you say you're built for a pro trader. So it's for everybody, in the sense that I think anybody should have that experience, but the core focus is to make a really good experience for more, like, sophisticated traders.
So tell me, like, how long have you guys been building this?
It's been a while. I think one thing that we've learned is that an order book is no joke. An order book, there are a lot of layers to it that, as an end user, you don't see, and you shouldn't. But there's a lot of, like, risk management, and you have to be very, very careful about how you design the overall exchange architecture. So we've been at it for a really long time, and our engineering team has been really going nonstop for many, many months. I can't even really remember when we started. It's been at least like 8 months probably. So it's a really exciting time for us now, because
it's 8 months, but it's like intense.
It's 8 months that feel like 8 years. Yeah. It's really, really quite intense. And I'm speaking also from a non-technical role. So I've felt kind of like my job starts now. They've given me a product, and now it's like, okay, I can take over a little bit.
Now it's your moment. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's exciting.
So what's what's your job now? Like, what were you focusing on now? Like, how would you describe the stage, and what are the next goals?
Yeah. So operations is a very loose term, I think, especially in a kind of new, like a new startup and a new environment and a new team. So my focus changes a lot depending on what the key objectives of the company are at any given point in time. And so sometimes it's about building more robust systems internally to optimize our performance and, to make us ship faster and support on that side of things. But more often than not, I'm also helping from a like a marketing perspective and helping operationalize a lot of our different campaigns and the things that are coming up. So I really love a role like this, because it's literally kind of you wake up and you kind of have to decide what the most important thing is, right? And obviously we have some core objectives that we want to achieve as a company that we all go by. But it really gives me the ability to have a really good range of exposure into the different things that are happening at once, and have also the ability to push forward our key objectives. So right now, I would say we're in a closed environment, so it's access, gated access. We've only given access to a few thousand traders, and it's really about scaling up. I think scaling up is the overarching theme in a lot of ways. We want to see a scale up in volume. We want to see a scale up in liquidity. We want to see a scale up in users. We want to scale up our socials, etc. Right? So that being said, there are many different ways to scale up, and we've taken a more controlled approach, hence the closed environment. And that really is to secure kind of and make sure that we're providing the best experience possible, that we're able to react, and that we're able to learn quickly and adapt if needed, et cetera. So there's there's a reason for all of this. There's a reason that, you look up Hibachi and you won't find anything but a Twitter and a landing page. So it's all by design, and I think it's meant to allow us to keep building, to keep kind of like concentrating on the core exchange, the core experience, while slowly kind of trickling in users and trickling and growing volume, etc.
What's been the feedback from these initial traders?
It's interesting because I thought it would be very consistent. I thought that there would be like very obvious things that are like, oh, like this works, this doesn't work, etc. And it's not. I think I'm learning that people want different things. And so one thing for us is we want to make sure that we're always listening. So one of the first things we built is kind of like this feedback loop for different users. So as an exchanger, you're dealing with two sides. You're dealing with the liquidity side and the trader side, the taker side. But even within those two, you got like professional market makers, you got different liquidity solutions, and you have retail, you have professional traders and API traders. So you actually have a lot of customers. It's a very tricky kind of business to operate because at any given point in time, you have to decide, am I optimizing for the market maker experience? Am I optimizing for the retail experience, the institutional taker experience? And so ideally you find solutions that help them all. But more often than not, you actually have to make a compromise. So some of the feedback has been really, really exciting in the sense that people have seen the UI especially, and I think have recognized the amount of work that's gone into it, which makes me feel actually really happy, because when you're building a UI, especially something that's like, it's table stakes in the sense that everybody has seen a trading UI. Yeah. It's not a revolutionary thing. We're not reinventing the wheel here. But we still spent 6 months designing the UI. So I wanted to make sure that was very, very obvious, and I think we did a really good job with that. And it's been really rewarding to see from all different kinds of users that at least like the user experience, kind of like the feel of trading on the exchange is really, really positive. And the main negative points of feedback are just ramp up issues. So for example, it's like, your liquidity is not really Binance levels yet. Yeah, of course. Okay, cool. Like I know that, I know I need to ramp up my liquidity. I know I need to tighten my spreads, and those are not product features anymore. They're just scalability features. So it's a really good place to be in.
That's great. I wonder, so I guess for everyone, I'm trying to think, like, people watching, like, what could they be thinking? So when could they be able to try it?
Yeah. So, at this point, anybody can request access, and we have a pretty long wait list. I think we got like over 30,000 people on the wait list, but we are letting people in on a daily basis. And I think this is obviously temporary. So, I've also been able to give access codes to people that I meet and that I think, I want them to experience the exchange early on, etc. So we're in this kind of exclusive environment for now. And the goal is to really build a core community from this. I think people have so far reacted pretty positively to the fact that we're very niche and we listen. So anybody can come and follow our Twitter and request access, and find me and ask me for an access code. I'll probably give it. And at this point, again, I just want to build a very strong community of early users, and I want to build like a trust element to that, and kind of allow them to build the exchange alongside us. So it's open for anybody to kind of join us early on. Yeah.
Is there anything exciting coming up?
There's a lot, especially because there's a very, very exciting roadmap on the product side, but there's a lot of exciting kind of also community-based activations coming up. So on the product side, without saying too much, I will say that we are ready to kind of test the status quo and to innovate. I think there are a lot of exchanges out there people have a lot of choices. So we're not trying to kind of just build the second version of something else. We recognize that we're going to have to take a leap, and we're going to have to build something different, unique. And so I'm really excited about that, maybe more personally, and hopefully one day people as well. But be on the lookout for what that really means soon. But again, like there's a really, really strong appetite to build something new and different. So right now we're focused on the core. You'll see an exchange, and you'll see an exchange that works really well. But that's kind of like the MVP. There's just so much coming on the product side that we'll be sharing in due time. And then obviously from the more marketing / activations and campaign side of things, a lot also. We're gonna soon be rolling out, I think, our first trading incentives. So without sharing too much there as well, I think I really do believe that incentives are such an ingrained component of our industry. And instead of like kind of looking at it from like a negative angle, I kind of have grown to adopt it positively, in the sense that you look around in other industries, hospitality, airlines, etc. Like everybody does points systems. It's not like a new thing that we invented. Like I choose an airline because of how many miles I have and what my status is there. So instead of kind of trying to move away from that, I want to double down. I want to build the best possible kind of incentive program that there is. And that's not that hard, honestly, because I don't think that a lot of people have taken that stance and that approach. So there's a lot of work happening to also give a really, really good experience, even and allow you to earn while participating in the ecosystem, in the exchange. So I think that's a very high level way of saying what I'm excited about. But I also want to, keep things and let them and announce them as they come. So
as they come, that makes sense. For everyone watching, where can they find you?
So Twitter is probably kind of my home. I've just more recently kind of started talking on Twitter. I've always been kind of more like the listener, but anyways, I definitely want to interact and to get to know people. I find that we have so many smart people in our industry, and I can spend like all day scrolling on Twitter and learning things. So it's addicting. I'm sure you know. So AO Thibault, AYO Thibo. That's my Twitter handle, and obviously Hibachi_xyz is our company Twitter. So always available. I love talking to everyone because there's really something to learn from everyone. So I'm there.
Thibault, thank you.
Thank you.